Next on 9 News, as Colorado's Attorney General continues to investigate Wyatt's towing, the company now is facing more legal trouble.
Boulder police haven't had oversight for months, but soon that'll change. The panel watching over the department is getting back to work, this time with new rules.
And the federal government can finally get back to work after weeks of chaos in the House of Representatives. A new speaker is elected. 9 News at 4 starts now.
The Colorado Attorney General's office are investigating possible predatory towing practices by Wyatt's Towing. And now there's a class action lawsuit against Wyatt and its parent company.
They say they're not following the towing Bill of Rights. 9 News reporter Rachel Krause talked to the people behind the suit who hope this changes the industry.
We really just want Wyatt's to respect the law and follow the law.
When it comes to Wyatt's Towing, many around town can tell you a story of being towed. Andrea Tribogaflor, director at Justice for the People Legal Center, says under the state's Towing Bill of Rights, many claims of unfair towing are spot on.
We know this is affecting thousands and thousands of people in Colorado. This is the biggest towing company in the state, and we want to make sure that everyone gets the justice they deserve.
Terry Bogaflor says the legal nonprofit filed a class action lawsuit against Wyatt's Towing and its parent company, Towing Holdings, saying they're raking in tens of millions of dollars annually by unlawfully towing thousands of vehicles across the state. Haley Howe's case is at the center of the lawsuit after she parked at a friend's apartment over the summer.
A few hours later, her car was gone, and she had specifically parked in guest parking. She did not park in a reserved parking spot, not a handicap parking spot, wasn't blocking any entries.
Drew Bogaflor says Howe wasn't given 24 hours notice, wasn't in a reserved spot, and Wyatt's hadn't been able to provide pictures of the tow, in violation of the Towing Bill of Rights. And yet, court records say it cost Howe nearly $400 to get her car back.
It's not unique what she experienced. It seems like Wyatt is trying to sort of skirt the 24-hour notice requirement by kind of creating loopholes.
Terry Bogaflor says this suit seeks to get Howe's money back and do the same for others in situations just like hers.
We've seen in the past that a lot of companies, they don't do what's right until they're forced to do that. And unfortunately, we've had to take this step.
But beyond that, she says they hope it sends a message that Wyatt's and towing operators around the state have to follow the law.
If there's no consequences for Wyatt's, real tangible consequences, these abuses are going to continue. And so that's really what we're trying to prevent.
And just in the past 20 minutes, we got a response from attorneys representing Wyatt's Towing. They say Wyatt's makes every effort to follow the law in every situation, saying any mistakes are extremely rare. They add this suit appears to lack any factual basis and say they're confident it will not be successful.
They certainly have been in the news as of late, and there are a lot of people that have a story to share.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of frustration from folks.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Rachel.
Aurora police officer Nathan Woodyard was trained at least 5 times in the use of a potentially dangerous neck hold that can make a person unconscious. The last time happened just days before the death of Elijah McClain. Woodyard is on trial in Adams County right now on charge of reckless manslaughter. Woodyard stopped McClain as he was walking along a street in August of 2019 in Aurora. A caller had called in saying McClain was wearing a mask and he seemed sketchy. Keep in mind, McClain was unarmed. He had done nothing wrong. Another officer alleged McClain tried to grab a gun after they threw McClain to the ground. Woodyard used a carotid hold. Prosecutors say Woodyard then failed to follow up as he was trained, starting a cascade of medical issues that led paramedics to inject McClain with ketamine, killing him. Aurora Police Sergeant Kevin Smith spent hours on the stand today detailing the department's emphasis on training, how to do a carotid hold, and the dangers it presents.
There's like 130 to 180 techniques on a list that an officer needs to know in our academy. And so depending on those, if we were to break it down to how much time do you spend on this one, how much time do you spend on this one, we would spend more time on the carotid than any one particular technique in the academy.
Aurora banned the use of carotid holds after McClain's death. Prosecutors are expected to wrap up their case this Friday.
For the first time in nearly 3 weeks, House Republicans have a leader. Today, Republican Congressman Mike Johnson was elected House Speaker. The congressman from Louisiana is a low-ranking member of the GOP's leadership team. He was the 4th Speaker nominee after Republicans ousted Kevin McCarthy from the job. His nomination was supported by former President Donald Trump. Johnson helped lead the effort to stop Congress from certifying the 2020 election. We'll have much more on the new Speaker coming up later in the hour.
4 minutes after 4 here, and just a beautiful, warmish Wednesday. But Kathy, I'm super excited about the cool down coming. Even a little snow.
Yeah, it's looking more and more likely, Alex, like this weekend we will see accumulating snow in Denver, the first of the season.
My neighbors were all raking leaves today.
Yeah.
Every single one. They've been paying attention.
Did you?
Well, if the leaves aren't off the trees, they're coming down.
Did not.
I'm waiting for the wind.
Yeah, the wind is coming too, and that makes people a little bit on the crabby side, but signaling a sign of change, certainly. Not a lot of wind out there today. We've got sunshine after a lot of fog early this morning that did create some flight delays at DIA. A weak front coming through today has brought temperatures down into the 60s, but it turned out to be a beautiful and calm afternoon. You can see dry conditions on I-70 and up in the high country where we expect heavy snow this weekend. Winter weather and travel advisories will no doubt go into effect. So if your travel plans take you into the high country Friday into Saturday, you'll need to monitor the forecast pretty carefully to make sure you're good to go. 67 in Denver, 63 in Lyman, 72 in Lamar. A little bit of low-level moisture out there, complements of that weak front, and that's why we had that dense fog early this morning. Winds are beginning to shift now, and that will help to scour out some of that low-level moisture, and that will help to kind of clear skies tonight and give us a very chilly evening ahead of yet another front that's due in tomorrow. That front ahead of the main system, which is coming on Saturday. So it's kind of a slow progression into the big changes for the weekend. We have clearing tonight with chilly temperatures, sunshine tomorrow, a few mountain snow showers, but I think Denver stays dry even with that front moving through late in the day. Low 70s now, dropping into the mid 60s by the dinner hour. And coming up in Maine weather, mild today, but snow by Saturday in Denver and heavy snow in the high country. And then if that wasn't enough to talk about, we've got a hard freeze coming Sunday night. So you need to blow out those sprinkler systems and winterize your home. We're going to cover all this in weather in just a bit.
Okay, here we go.